Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wreck your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance, just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
You're listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast, episode 363, Justice for Bruce. Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, the #1 place to get your animation fix with animation addicts just like you. Each episode, we dive into the wonderful world of animation featuring Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, and everything in between. From hilarious discussions and movie reviews to interviews with industry insiders, this show's mission is to brighten your day through our love of animation. So hop on your nerdy couch, grab some snacks, and get ready to hang out with your animation besties because it's time to dive into today's episode. Hey there, animation addicts. I'm Morgan Stradling.
And I'm Chelsea Robson.
We are back at you with another episode of the Animation Addicts Podcast. We are reviewing Hoppers. It's been a while. We're getting back in the swing of things.
Yes, we are. It's been interesting because we just have... We'll go into more details as like the whys after this whole thing in the bloopers. But just know, our heart is with you. And that's why we're here.
All right. Yeah, this is a fun one. This one is Pixar release. It's one that is in the spring. So yeah, this is an interesting one. Any other housekeeping before we get started, before we dive right into it?
No.
She says no. So with that, let's hop into Hoppers.
On December 12th, Disney Plus invites you to go behind the scenes with Taylor Swift in an exclusive 6-episode docuseries.
I wanted to give something to the fans that they didn't expect. The only thing left is to close the book.
The end of an era. And don't miss Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show, featuring for the first time the Tortured Poets Department. Streaming December 12th, only on Disney Plus.
All right, so the movie we are reviewing today is Hoppers. Let's talk a little bit about this film. So, the release date of Hoppers is March 6th, 2026. The studio is Pixar Animation Studios, directed by Daniel Chong, screenplay by Jesse Andrews, and it has music by Mark Mothersbaugh. Mothersbaugh? Yes, him. Who is actually quite prolific. I was looking up all the things that he had done. He's 75 years old, so instantly when I saw his age, I thought, wow, okay. I mean, he's probably pretty connected, well-known, has done lots of things, had quite a career at this point. You're usually typically not breaking into the Hollywood industry at 75, and lo and behold, he's been doing quite a bit since the 80s, tons of TV shows. He did a lot of TV. As far as other movies, he's done recently Minecraft movie, Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, The Croods, New Age, Mitchell's versus the Machine, Thor, Ragnarok, Hawaiian Vacation, which was a Toy Story. He did a lot of these Cars tunes from 2008 to 2014. So he's definitely been in, Pixar knows about him, has definitely tapped into him here and there. But it seems like this is the first film that he has done that's like a main film and not a short, although he has obviously done he's not sitting here waiting for Pixar. He's busy enough as he can be. So yeah, so that's a little bit about Mark. Now for the film, going back to this, obviously the distribution company is Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. I feel like every year, every 3 or 5 years, Disney changes the name of that. I don't know. I feel like it was Walt Disney Studios for a while. Anyways, but the budget, $150 million. So Pixar has taken it down. You know, typically they were $175 to $200. This one, they brought it down a bit.
They were listening to you.
Yes. Thank you, Pixar, for heeding my advice. The box office as of it hasn't been a full week yet, is $95 million. So its opening weekend, it did $45 million, which, depending on where you read, what source you were, some people were heralding this as amazing and others were saying, for Pixar, this is quite bad. This is quite terrible for Pixar. But nonetheless, it won the weekend and it's going into spring break season. So for example, my family is already on spring break, but I know on the East Coast, they really don't go to spring break until April. So it'll be interesting to see if this has more of an elemental run to it where it has legs. That was kind of the only thing that summer for kids and families, and so that movie just held on for a really long time. So I'm interested to watch this one to see how well that it continues to do.
Did you know that this was Pixar's 30th feature film?
Wow. Pixar's 30th. I wonder what Disney's 30th. Oh, interesting. To compare, Disney's 30th film was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Quite a difference. But at this point for Disney, they were around much longer, more and more decades, and they had gone through their ups and their downs, and Beauty and the Beast was kind of bringing it back, swinging that tail back around to kind of kick off the renaissance, that and The Little Mermaid.
But also, I would say that it's a little more on par with, not on par necessarily, but like in the same contemporaries, would be DreamWorks has over 50.
Oh, wow.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
And DreamWorks is on the upswing. DreamWorks is kind of, I was speaking with someone, one of our listeners, Soul, and she was saying, you know, Pixar is what DreamWorks was and DreamWorks is what Pixar was.
Yeah.
And that's really true. DreamWorks is at the peak of you know, since the beginning, maybe when it started, and it had a little down period, but it is back up to this Pixar, what you think of Pixar quality. Whereas Pixar is in a bit of a lull.
Yeah, they ebb and flow.
All right, so the voice cast, I wasn't really familiar with a lot of these people. I mean, there's a few, but I think I'm just becoming increasingly out of touch with all the various actors that there are nowadays. But Mabel is voiced by Piper Curda. John Hamm is the mayor, Jerry. Dave Franco was the insect king. So those are kind of the main ones that I recognized. But
don't forget Kathy Najimy.
Dr. Sam.
Dr. Sam, yes. I see her face and all I can think about is a wedding planner. She's just like, no, I've done things that a poor little wedding planner like yourself should not even know. Close your ears. I just see her face doing that. Oh, that's funny.
So how would you describe this film?
So the IMDb says the plot is a 19-year-old animal lover uses technology that places her consciousness into a robotic beaver to uncover mysteries within the animal world beyond her imagination. Also, not Avatar.
It wrote that on IMDb?
No, I did that.
Oh, okay. Like, wow, they're really hitting this not Avatar home so much that they had a line about it in the film. And I thought, okay, if you're so confident in your film, you shouldn't have to mention it. But they know that the comparisons are going to be there. And so to get ahead of those, they're mentioning it. But it just is weird that they're mentioning it, you know?
It is, yes.
Which I will say, it's not Avatar, really. It's a body swap movie, not Avatar. So,
I mean, it is pretty close there.
It's a robot versus more of a, like in Avatar, the body that they create is an actual organism. Very, if not exact, but very similar to the Na'vi, where this is, One thing that what I would have liked to have seen them do a little more was with the robot beaver, if it would have had a little bit more mannerisms of being a robot, like a little more of a clunkier walk. Still, it could pass as being a beaver and fool the animals, but I would have liked to see that differentiation. I think that would have been technically a little bit more difficult, just, I'm sure it would have been fine, but you'd have to put a little bit more thought and care into how you're animating that character. Because then when Jerry, at the very end, to skip all the way to the very end, spoilers, obviously, always a spoiler podcast here, there were moments when his mask was literally coming off, and it was very robotic in how he was moving. And I thought that was cool. I liked that. So I would have liked to have seen, it wasn't, because she was a robot. She wasn't, you didn't recreate or reanimate like Dr. Frankenstein. Well, no. Dr. Frankenstein took bits and pieces of various things. He didn't take a corpse and reanimate it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they found a dead beaver and they're like, okay, you're in this now and it's somehow alive. I would have liked to have seen the robot aspect there. But whatever. That's just kind of a nitpick. But I thought it would have been fun because I really liked it later when I saw the Robo Mayor Jerry.
Yeah, Robo Jerry. I think, the thing about this movie, as far as the not Avatar kind of stuff, it's I feel like they knew that was going to come. And so they're like, let's just be silly through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And let's throw in as many Easter eggs as we can. And let's just make this the silly thing so that it can't, nobody's really going to be looking that hard at things. And I can appreciate that in a lot of ways because, it's almost like they're trying to have like an Emperor's New Groove kind of situation where that one was just out of that one was crazy. But this one, they're like, let's, stay grounded enough, but also this is crazy. So let's just go crazy with it. So, with that, I felt like, okay, I give it to you. I'm just expecting a lot more crazy. That was the thing, though. I wish it would have been a little bit more crazy. If you're going to go crazy, go crazy.
Go whole hog.
Yes.
Speaking of Easter eggs, one Easter egg that I thought was just a layup that they didn't do was the shark should have been Bruce from Finding Nemo.
It really should have.
It was funny that it was a girl voice and it was not what you would expect out of, I guess, a shark. But It was a near identical sort of design. Maybe obviously little differences here or there, but it definitely would have passed for Bruce, and it would have been hilarious to have Bruce's voice.
Even if it wasn't Bruce, if it was one of the other sharks.
Right.
He didn't know his father.
Yeah. It would have been hilarious. So yeah, when the shark said her name, I believe it was a girl, and it was not Bruce, I was like, come on, Pixar. This is the Pixar theory. This would have spurned all of the people on the internet. They would have loved this. Come on.
The people on the internet got enough. I just on that last whiteboard, or not whiteboard, or whatever, blackboard, I don't remember which one it was, but it was a board that she had all of her next projects on there. And it's so I actually wrote down a couple of them. These are not all of them, but there are a couple. First, you have on the chalkboard, you have on the bottom right-hand corner, her general idea for the question was turning vocal sound into energy, which would have been from Monsters, Inc. And then you also have another one where she had a collar in the center and it would say having sound coming out of it. So the animal now can talk to us. So that's up. And then you have the Cars Easter egg, which at the top right hand corner, there was a chalkboard that had a diagram of a human brain going into a car. And so they're like, oh, we're putting all the humans brains into cars now.
Yeah.
And then there was one more, I think. I don't remember at the moment, but there were a couple of them that I was like, okay, I see you trying to just put as many of these Pixar theories in as possible. They're like, please.
I'll give them props to that.
Keep talking about us.
You want the internet talking about you. Well, do you? Do you? Depends.
I think so at this point.
So for my first thoughts for this film, I remember seeing the trailer for this, I believe last summer, and just thinking, what are we doing here, Pixar?
Yeah.
This is odd. This is weird. I'm not digging this. This just seems not very Pixar-y. And I hate that Pixar has such a hold on me that I have expectations of them.
Right.
When But that's a brand. That is a brand, is where you have an expectation of what to expect from the product that they are putting out. So I guess I shouldn't be apologetic in that, because Pixar has very much established, like, this is who we are as a storytelling movie company, right?
Right.
And over the past few years, this really let me down, and it doesn't feel like Pixar, kind of like what we talked about. And so going into this, I just thought, okay, here we go with Hoppers. This is going to be, so fun. But it was a $5 movie. Tuesday for me, so easy way to take the whole family to see a film.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will say, I texted this to Chelsea. That was funny. He was like, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. Actually, I didn't hate it at all, but I didn't necessarily love it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm not saying I hated it.
Yeah.
It surprised me a lot more. It was way better than Elio.
Yes. So there was one thing you sent me, an X post at some point, of somebody who said that this was a movie that you would have to sit down and talk to your teenagers about after, because of how dark it was. And I'm like, what the heck?
Do I even take my children to this? Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm like, well, I'm going first, so I'll let you know. And I mean, honestly, I would not have thought that. However, I do say that after this last year or so, in the last 12 months, we've had like political assassinations. Mm-hmm. And then you have this demographic of 20-year-olds getting online and saying they deserved it. I don't care what your political side is. I don't think you should die if you disagree with me.
Yeah.
And so that was really the only thing that came to my mind as far as a reason why this would be something that you, quote, had to talk to your kids about. Because at the very end, when she is going up against, there's the squish or be squished situation. Mm-hmm. And like, you can tell for Mabel, she was like, wait a second, that's going a little too far. Mm-hmm. Which I agree. But in the animal world, they're like, no, it's, if you got to eat, you eat, Mm-hmm, so it's, there's no backing down from that. And I'm glad that Mabel wasn't like, actually had a heart.
Well, so I think, there were a few different themes that were discussed here. And I think the big moment that made me sit back for a second was the squish moment.
Right.
So the very beginning of the film, this is pond rules. And they show the hierarchy of the animal kingdom, where, are you going to eat me? Like, no, it's weird now. Which the guy sounds like Seth Green's character, Chris, from Family Guy. Oh. And I was like, it has to be him, right? It was not. But that was excellent voice acting, just how apathetic that guy was. But they're establishing that, hey, it's okay. This is the world we live in, and there's a hierarchy, and there's predators and prey, and we eat each other. And it's cool. It's no hard feelings. It just kind of is the way that it is. But being from the top of the animal kingdom, or the food chain, if you will, are the humans. But humans have quite a bit different morality when it comes to what to eat and killing, just in general, right? And so we see that in that moment where they're talking about, well, they've been squishing us, let's squish them. It seems like that the Queen Butterfly, Madame Butterfly, she was kind of like a Yzma sort of character to me.
Yes.
And she just flips it. She says, well, let's kill him. Let's squish. And they don't say kill. They use the euphemism
squish.
Of squish. But we know where they're going. So that's where it gets a little deep. Not deep, but a little dark.
Edgy, yeah.
For this Pixar film. And they talk about the animals or want to squish the mayor. And she, even though she has her disagreement, she's like, whoa, this isn't what we do. So I did like that, because it did show that Mabel was on a different level than the animals. And that...
Yes.
That she was not going to just give in to their way, because that was the way. But all the way at the very end, it has a hard time threading this needle, because they're at the same time trying to say these are pond rules, like all's fair game, don't worry about it, it's cool, there's a hierarchy. But then at the end, it's like, we're all equal and we need to accept each other for that, blah, blah, blah. Like we're all on the same page. And so it seemed like those were totally different messages, and they're both interesting to explore, but because they contrasted each other so distinctly, you couldn't really circle that square. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so they either had to choose one or the other. Like, it's okay, there is a hierarchy, and we have to work together. But it feels like at the very end, when they come to how are we going to resolve this with the Speedway? Like, what was the resolution? It seems like, okay, even at the very beginning of this, 98% of this thing is built.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not going to? It was so preposterous that she would even have any sort of impact because, no, of course, it was like literally a circle, right? Like it was a big circle around the city. So what do you mean you're not going to finish this last 2% of the thing? It's done. I found it odd. And I don't remember at the end if they showed us how they rerouted it.
No.
But it seems like, hey, building the Speedway over the Glade is fine, but just don't have the, basically the giant fake tree with the sound trying to distract everybody. Right. Just let them live under there and they'll be okay. Just have it be a little place.
That was odd. Just because it was like you're really trying to square this circle the square or whatever. Well, here's where I think one of the actual villains are to blame in this. And that is Mabel's parents. Because...
What parents?
Exactly. Exactly. But so Mabel is an animal lover because, and maybe not also, probably just is in general an animal lover. Mm-hmm. And she has a grandma who I guess was a park ranger and like spent a lot of time with her and had this really deep connection. And the grandma's like, well, no matter what happens, you'll always have this glade. Mm-hmm. And so she had that. And then they have this moment where you don't even see the parents. You just hear the voices of her telling the parents, Mom, I can't leave Grandma because nobody will be here to take care of her. And I'm like, what?
Take Grandma with you.
What? Not even just take her with you, but like what parent is going to just shove their kid into the position of caretaker for their own parent? This was a moment that
Boomers.
I was... Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have a history of this. And so not of my parents. I took care of my parents. But there were moments where, it's natural to feel like, yo, family, why am I the one that's like stuck in this? And it's to be that like for your own parent's parent. It was too far. It was too far. And obviously if she had help with that or had been able to work through those emotions, it probably wouldn't have put her in this position anyway. She would have been able to let go of her grandma's memory. It would have stayed in her memory. It would have not let go of the memory, but let go of her and also let go of the glade and let it be and just be content with life is. Like, these are emotional things that need to be like helped through. And all you're doing is showing that she didn't have anybody to help her but like work through those feelings of abandonment to her grandma. Yeah. I'm just like, the parents, the boomers are all to blame.
Also, grandma should not have promised in perpetuity this public lands. They'll always be there. Right. Come on, Grandma. I mean, it wasn't like it was your property. It seemed like it was just a general open space, which I get. You should expect that these should last generation to generation. But maybe you should have said nature will always be here, not this special place, the glade, our special rock. It's always going to be there for you. Right. So that way when the grandma's gone and then the glade is going to be gone, yikes, she has nothing to hold to. With the parents also, what on earth? I don't get mad when they're like, every Disney movie has a single parent and there's no moms or there's no whatever. It's like, we're telling a story and we have to consolidate all of these emotions and things to really amplify the storytelling. And having, not the perfect household, maybe missing parent. Have we had a missing parent story? Yeah, but typically they die.
But no, there was also the I don't know what was that one called?
How to Train Your Dragon.
the knockoff of How to Train Your Dragon. And How to Train Your Dragon. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, How to Train Your Dragon, the mom's gone. She just skedaddled for a bit.
You have like Raya or stuff, like her dad goes not missing, but like is like frozen. So I mean, there's stuff like that. But yeah,
but nonetheless, like I have no problem with these parents being, you know, the tragedy of the parent being gone, because then that really creates all of these issues and struggles and trauma for the person to overcome. Like I'm fine with that. But man, these were not some great parents. They just drop her off at the grandparents. And I do like that. I like the generational bridging of the gap between the generations, and how the grandma was able to teach her these coping mechanisms for her rage and her anger. And I thought that was really great. And I was thinking, like, I hope kids see this and realize, yes, there is a way out. I don't have to rage all the time, that I can go to nature and just find a happy place, right? That this is Happy Gilmore in Pixar, basically. He has the rage issue, and he has to go to find his happy place,
right?
To get the big putt. So,
are you trying to teach your kids to go to a happy place?
I guess, yeah. So I really liked that, and I liked that the grandma had something to do. But man, these parents, they just try to move across the. But she was an adult, so that happens a lot of times where someone has their roots in one place, and the children are old enough, they say, no, I'm going to stay here. So. Anyway, that's beleaguering the point. It was kind of clunky at the beginning, and they really just yada-yada'd over it. Like, we don't want to talk about this parent dynamic situation.
Right.
It's all about the grandma and her. And
like, I don't want to bring them up. I don't want to develop anybody else.
Yeah.
But by not developing them, you totally develop them into the actual villains of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Take the scenic route in Abercrombie's new spring collection, designed for weekend getaways. Full of layers like sweaters, dresses, and matching sets that take you from happy hour straight to a weekend upstate. The piece on everyone's radar is their new reversible trench coat. It's navy on one side and a coastal plaid on the other. The perfect spring staple. Get your closet ready for spring plans. Shop Abercrombie in the app, online, and in stores.
It's crunch time at work, and you need to bring wings to your workday. Visit redbull.com/gettingitdone and answer a couple questions about your work style to get a Spotify customized playlist tuned to your productivity. Plus, score a can of Red Bull on us while you go from to-do to done. And remember, Red Bull gives you wings. Supplies are limited. Terms apply. Visit the website for more information.
So, speaking of the proposed villain, is Mayor Jerry, who felt just like a Pixar Gavin Newsom to me. Just like a slick...
absolutely it was.
Like a slick politician making all these promises. People loving him. You know, I love that this is not a Gavin Newsom way, but he just lives in, Anytown, USA. He lives in the suburbs with everyone else, and everyone's waving at him. Not typical, mayor behavior on a big scale in California, but so he's the bad guy because he's the one who's given the okay to do this and
he's
get
got
rid
patriarchy
of it.
and horses going on. Like there's one scene where he's getting out of bed, and you have the running horses in the background. I'm like, oh gosh.
I'm like, didn't we just have a mayor that was all about horses in Zootopia too? Like they really love these horse mayors. I thought that was an interesting
from Barbie, patriarchy and horses.
Well, that's true, but in Zootopia too,
true.
He's a mayor. No, he's not a mayor. He has a mane as a stallion, and but he's kind of a puppet. But anyways, so I thought he was kind of an interesting character, and it's so funny because when they discover the sound, so we're kind of just yada-yadaing over like the main point of this movie, which is he gives her 48 hours. Like, why does he promise this? He has no reason to, but he's like, 48 hours, if you get those animals to come back, then we can talk.
Because the plot.
Yes, and he had already arranged the animals to leave. It must have been some sort of ordinance that the animals have to vacate this property for you able to, eminent domain it, or whatever. It doesn't appear anyone owned it. But so she goes undercover through her college professor who's doing these experiments. So she's able to discover that I love when I was kind of like writing my review. It's like I wanted to just distill it like through a crazy series of events. She becomes a robot beaver. Like that's really what it is. It's like, how are we going to get this from point A to point B? Because we want her to be a beaver. And so she turns in this beaver and she has to infiltrate the pond community and convince them all to come back. And then they ultimately discovered the reason they all left was because there was this giant faux tree which was emitting sound. Like, and instantly when I thought it was EMFs. But I think the EMFs, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is so true. Like, yes, get rid of those.
They had you for a minute. Morgan.
Get rid of those stupid 5G towers that look like trees. They're terrible for animals. They're for our health. Like, I'm like, in that moment, I was like, this is my movie. I love this. But kids don't understand the EMF conversation and what that is. So instead, it was the sound that was at a high frequency that they had put up, and it really convinced all the animals to leave. And
so you're really just hoping that Pixar / Disney was going to create a Crunchy Mom film.
Yes, yeah.
You're like, you had me at hello.
I know. It didn't quite go there. No. But yeah, so and what I thought was really good about this film that they did is that the most interesting part of the film is the animals. The animals are the most interesting, not necessarily Mabel. And although I understand her reasoning and her objective and what she wants to accomplish, I was more invested in just her living life with the animals, and the different animals were hilarious and fun. And I liked that she wasn't hopping back and forth between becoming a human, giving the update to the people, going, then, okay, I'm going to go back. Like, she really was the beaver as long as she possibly could until basically the third act. I thought that was really good, really smart. We weren't hopping back and forth.
Yeah, and I think that was... And what was nice is, after looking at IMDb, apparently the original storyline for this was going to be about penguins. But when the premise was pitched to Pete Docter, Pete was just like, I need you to change that to something else because there is no shortage of penguin animated films. I'm like, yes,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
So that's when he went in. So Daniel Chong went in and he learned he learned how the beavers are like an ecosystem engineer of nature, and they would be the great one to tell the story. And that's one of the reasons why they had the beaver as the king, because he engineers everybody there. He keeps everybody, gives a reason to be there. And I was like, that's nice. I like that.
I liked the beavers. I liked that the king beaver was in charge and he was funny.
Yeah.
And they all really looked up to him and respected him. And I liked that all the different species of animals, or like main categories of animals, we have the bugs, we have mammals, fishes, birds, whatever. They all had their own appointed leader and royalty that each wore crowns. Just perfect. I love it. No notes.
Yeah. And the crown situation, that was a good little... Like, where did you get the crown? Out of all of that, that is what you came away with.
They know people are thinking these things, right? That's the thing.
I would think.
These films have gotten so meta that they have to get ahead of it by saying, well, okay, we can't just have a movie with a bunch of animals wearing crowns because, the internet. So how do they get the crowns? Yeah. And then they just kind of yada over it. Yeah. But yeah. And so then we have this big moment, which we alluded to. Well, we didn't allude to. We talked about it pretty extensively, but where and I gasped when this happened, when they kill the queen butterfly on accident, but we don't see her corpse. We just see gushy, gooey slime that she's rubbing against the wall. I'm like, oh, this is morbid. This is I don't know how I feel about this, but at the same time, it's weird because they anthropomorphized the animals, you grow attached to them.
Right.
And so when one dies, it was this feeling of what happened?
In such a way that is normal to us, that you're like, oh no.
Yes. Whereas if they put the beady eyes on the thing instead of the, because they did that when a human was seeing an animal, it had this little bead eye essentially, versus when it was, we were seeing them talking and within them they had more cartoonish eyes. But yeah, if it weren't speaking and it had the beady eyes, then we'd probably be like, okay, sorry, killed the butterfly. You typically don't kill those. But wow, in that moment, I'm like, yikes, what's happening? Why did we do this? Why are we? I get it. And it really, so then that was another thing. It sets up like, oh, it's okay. All's fair in love and war. But then the mom dies, and then the king, the caterpillar son, really goes on a rampage to avenge her death. But I'm like, I thought it was cool. Thought we didn't care if someone died. It's just the way. A bird would have eaten her eventually, right?
Yeah.
So again, there's just it wasn't cohesive or consistent.
Yeah. And I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And they really wanted to go there with that. They wanted the squish.
I mean, it was a moment.
As they were going into this film, and it's very clear like that she's an environmentalist and she's an activist. I'm like, okay, this movie is the environmentalism of the 90s, which we all grew up on, right?
Yes.
Captain Planet of it all, meets the activism of the 2020s, for sure. Because the 2020s has definitely been a decade thus far of activism, I think.
Right.
And environmentalism was the 90s. So it was like these two powers combined give you hoppers.
Yes.
But it wasn't so over the, like, even though it was definitely, there was the environmentalism message and there was the activism that she was, you know, to help make the change. I didn't feel like it was so heavy-handed, where I was just rolling my eyes the whole time. Like, okay, here we go again, another message for us all.
Yeah, they did a good job of putting, I don't know, something fuzzy around the...
a beaver pelt, if you will.
Yes, a beaver pelt around the frying pans. They didn't quite go after you with the frying pans of environmentalism in this. I mean, they did. They absolutely did. But it was cutesy kind of thing.
To bring back Chelsea's iconic quote is, "I like trees." I don't need you to tell me that I like trees. I like trees.
Yeah.
Go back to what, episode 3?
Yeah, something like that.
To hear that moment.
It was good times, man.
Good times, yeah. I love it. I love it.
All in all, I left this movie smiling. Like, there were a lot of funny things, a little bit out of the, like, you know, the fact that you have Sharknado situation happening.
That was fun.
I liked these things. The fact that they went so over the top that everyone's like, what in the world is happening? And then they have their beaver, everybody around the main beaver, they're doing their little dancing and jazzercise. And I just, like, okay, all right, fun. I liked it, and there were a lot of things that I was like, yeah, I can get behind that, but I don't know, it was just like, it just wasn't quite goofy enough for me to fully jump in, you know?
Yeah, going back to, it doesn't feel Pixar, like it's Pixar, but it's this era of Pixar, which is not S tier Pixar that we're used to.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed that I just felt very off, you know, they have those supposed rules of Pixar films when they first started, like our songs will not, our characters will not be singing, they'll not be doing this. I felt like one of those unspoken rules was we're not going to have pop culture songs.
Yeah, there was a lot of pop culture in this one.
Typically we're not going to have a lot of songs in general, you know, and if they did, it was like a Toy Story thing where they kind of created their own songs, singing over it. But this had more of this like pop songs, and I just felt like, oh man, I don't like this, because everyone has association with all of those songs, and now it's tied to this movie, and I was like, oh, come on, Pixar, I didn't love it. You know, this feels very DreamWorksy. Again,
yes,
it feels very DreamWorksy when you do that, because all the other animated films and studios have done that, no problem. But Pixar kind of was on this other level where you didn't need to resort to that, you know, or like, you know, with the Super Mario movie, there were a lot of those during different scenes of these pop songs playing, you know, where they're building their go-karts and whatnot. So yeah, so there was that. But okay, one thing I did love, which I think was a miss as far as age appropriateness, but I personally loved it, was the robot mayor. First off, I don't know how they were able to build this mayor so quickly, this robot guy. Whatever, it's beside the point. But they got a version of the mayor for the Bug King to inhabit, and he is really creepy. Like, he has the dark circles around his eyes, and he's definitely moving in this robotic way, which I thought, you know, why is he doing this versus Mabel not doing that when she was a beaver, right? Like, I thought that should have been a little more consistent. But man, did I love that guy. This creepy robot mayor that was just sadistic and crazy. I was like, yes, more of this. This is creepy and weird. And then the face comes off. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a horror film. My little one, and I'm assuming other little ones, did not like that. He said, Mom, I don't like it.
Aww.
I felt bad. I had to cover his eyes, you know, and so I would not recommend this for young children, because I don't think they're going to understand the difference. Yes. They just see something scary. Yes. And so as much as I loved it, I thought, it's a little much for Pixar, right? Which
Yeah.
again has this family-friendly, you can always take your family to a Pixar film brand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to get back to that at least. And it was different. I'm glad that, I like seeing companies and creators go a little bit outside of what is normal. And so, but it is hard when you do have those set expectations of this is the kind of thing that I can expect.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people that I can feel comfortable bringing because I feel like they would like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you are pulling on some strings there as far as like, I feel like for the last almost decade, not quite, but almost, there's been peppered in their movies that I'm like, do I take kids to this? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an observation, not really a like, you need to change this or anything. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, there was that quote recently from Pete Docter, who recently basically said that, we realized we need to go back to what made us Pixar instead of having these therapy films. For a period of time, they were hiring these directors to tell their very unique stories. For example, an Asian immigrant growing up in Toronto. And so that's what the movie was about, in Turning Red, right? And they were very, very specific to this one person and didn't necessarily have this wide appeal. People still loved it nonetheless. I mean, not saying you have to have an ultra specific or a super broad film, but for Pixar in general, when you're really saying like, this is my thing that I suffered from as a child, or like my trauma, or something that's really very niche and specific to me, and I'm going to make a movie all about that. He is admitting that isn't necessarily a winning strategy for the studio. And I think this one is a step in the right direction. I don't feel like it was necessarily, at least I hadn't read anything about Daniel Chong saying that this is, things that he was really adamant about or into, right? So, or grew up and I was an animal activist. But
he said his wife was somebody who was, had a very strong sense of right and wrong, and most likely an animal lover. Did I mention that Pipe, the voice actress for Mabel, IMDb made sure to let you know that she is also an ardent animal lover.
Oh, good to know. I mean,
it's just like, well, of course. Why would you say anything different? But
I hate animals. Actually, I kick dogs anytime I can.
Right. I'm
a method actor, okay? So I had to change my ways to really get into this role.
Yeah. I don't think that this was a story necessarily about him or anything that he had. The only story that I really saw was that it was going to be about penguins.
Which I'm like, I like penguins. There's a reason why we have such a treasure trove.
Yeah.
But he was right. There's a lot of penguin films, but if this were everything's the same except for you're not really building speedways where penguins are located, so they'd have to kind of change that up a bit. But would people be more drawn to cute film about penguins instead of just like forest critters?
I don't know.
Penguins are cool.
I pay for premium on everything, so it's been a long time since I've seen a full ad on on really anything, and so I didn't even really look at a lot of the trailers for this beforehand. So as far as like long beforehand, and so I didn't really have a lot of expectations, is what I'm trying to say, and I went in as a feeling of like, all right, let's see where this is. I was apprehensive just based on that X post that you shared with me, that they're like, you have to talk with your teenagers after this. Like,
yeah,
what the heck?
After seeing this, I didn't feel that at all.
I didn't feel that.
There was no conversations to be had with children of any age, in my opinion.
I think that says more about the person writing the post than it does.
Yeah, exactly. I did not take away from this like, let's kill people. Like, if that's what was being implied there, I thought it was very clearly saying, no, you don't do that. You don't. No.
Yeah.
So,
and overall, this movie has received a very good score on Rotten Tomatoes. You've got like 93% tomato meter, and the popcorn meter is at like 94%. Now, are all of those
pretty consistent?
Yeah, and I hesitate bringing in Rotten Tomatoes just because of the controversies that they've had over the years. Controversies. And But I mean, I feel like, and I've seen other posts, other places, and people are just raving about, oh my gosh, I love this film. Oh my gosh, I cried through the 2 hours. And I'm just like, it's that moment where Principal Skidder is like, am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite enamored with this film as so many others were. I felt like I gave this a solid meh.
Okay.
And it's something that if it were on in the background or something, I would not be like, oh my gosh, turn this off. It would just be like, all right, it's on. Would I stick around a couple minutes and then I'd probably go do something else? I don't know. I left being like, well, that was something.
Yeah.
I was like, it was all right. That's what I watched.
There were funny moments. I liked a lot of the gags that they had. It was funny, made me laugh, and I liked the horror element at the end. It was a movie, and I don't think I'll ever have to watch it again. I'm probably going to give it 2.5 stars. It is so much better than Elio, which I can't remember what I gave that, but having the passage of time, I would probably give it a 1.5 for Elio. And so this one being a 2.5, like, it's a step in the right direction. And so I hope this is encouraging. I mean, we do have Toy Story 5 coming out in the summer, which is Andrew Stanton returning. So, I mean, there's a lot of really good things happening with that film. I do like the premise of Toy Story 5, that, technology taking over playtime and kind of disrupting children. Yeah. And their development and how they're able to...
That's the Crunchy Mom coming out.
Oh, yeah. All for it. But this one, it was just okay. 2.5. It was fine, but it wasn't amazing. Like, it didn't have all these themes and characters and moments where I'm just like, I have to see that again. I can't wait to go see Hoppers again. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I would have given it a 3, but then after thinking about it, I was like, nah, it's probably around the 2.5. So I'm right there with you. As far as like it's a film.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if it were a Rotten Tomatoes score, if they're really like, you don't have this middle ground where you can hover on the 2.5, meh, you either have to lean one way or the other. And if that's the case, I think I would lean thumbs up fresh versus not. Like it wasn't a dud or a stinker. It was fine. Very much on the line, though.
It's very much on the line, and it would only barely get over for me.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, am I more toward the negative side on this than you?
I feel like in general, I'm a lot more critical of films than the general audience is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of times when I post my reviews and I see other moms or people online with families, and they're just I feel like most people in general like films. It's like it's good. It was fun. We loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about it, so.
Yeah. And most people are just like, yeah, cool. All right.
It was awesome. Yeah. We went to the movies.
Popcorn.
It was great. Yeah. Yes. I finally upgraded the family to the popcorn bucket, which is the refillable popcorn bucket. It is large and in charge. It's a $3 refill. And whereas which is
so much better than the $8 to $10, $9.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Because this theater that we go to typically for the $5 Tuesdays, they also have bowling. And when we go bowling, and we have passes where we can go bowling free once a week. And so when we go bowling, like as a little treat, I'll get them popcorn. And finally I was like, not that we go every week bowling, it's maybe once a month or so. We were buying this popcorn. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the bucket. And we're going to just, that'll be our little bowling and popcorn treat. And then we can bring it to the movies when we go. And so it's paid for itself. But, as the Crunchy Mom who pops the organic popcorn in coconut oil with the Redmond sea salt.
I aspire to be you, Morgan.
Puts it in little bags and stuffs it in my backpack and hands it out to everyone. And with no seed oil popcorn for us, it really does crush my soul to have to. I do not participate in the eating of the popcorn, but they love it, and it makes it easy to refill.
Of course.
Especially for the little kids.
Kids love that.
The little kids, it's like if you could just ply them with popcorn the whole time, like they'll really just sit there and they won't feel antsy. Plus, my kids aren't iPad kids, so it's not like they definitely have an attention span. So, yeah, funny times. Good times. So, there you go. Let us know your thoughts about this film, Hoppers. Go to rotoscopers.com/363. Leave us a review or give us a call at 406-646-6575 to leave us a voicemail review for a future episode where we will give all of your thoughts in a mailbag. But yeah, this was a fun one. this is trending up for Pixar, so I do have higher hopes for Toy Story 5. Toy Story 4 really did a number on me where it made me I just basically pretend that the Toy Story franchise is only the first 3 films, plus a few fun shorts along the way that really don't affect anything. They're just kind of fun little anecdotes. 4 to me is like, ugh. And so 5, I'm like, okay, where are we going to go from here? But I'm trending up, so I'm looking more forward to that one.
Okay.
So yeah, so I guess in a few months we'll be back before then, but we will come back and review Toy Story 5. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And in the meantime, between probably, we'll probably have another episode between this and that, but we will be doing the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now, this is the film that my kids have been talking about nonstop. They're always asking about it. They want to know, are we seeing Super Mario Galaxy? No, not yet. It's not out yet. When does it come out? April. So yes, so that will be one that we will definitely review in a few weeks when that one comes out. And the press screening, I got my press screening and there was no kids in, which I was bummed because, those are free movies for the family.
Right.
It's press only, no guests.
Oh, no.
And so I'm like, why would they do this? So we will find out why. Is it terrible or what's the reason for that? I don't know, but stay tuned.
Normally for these kids ones, they always try to shove it full of kids.
It's always on a Saturday. It's with tons of kids and families. They invite, the influencers and all of them. This is a Monday night, no family, no guests, no influencers, press only. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because I will update you in future episodes when we do that.
When we get there.
So until next time, we are the Rotoscopers. We did it. Thanks for being patient with the baby.
Hey. All right, so we got to give updates on our lives.
Update time.
Update
time.
Update
time.
Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. It's always time to update time. Yeah, so my updates is I am 75% moved to my new house. So that is a big deal. And I will, at the time we're recording this on what is today? Thursday? On a Thursday. And then I will drive my car and all the rest of my belongings out of the Myrtle Beach area up to Nashville. The sequel.
I love it. The sequel will be better than the original.
The original one, it was you're younger and you've got your own things happening, but still it's all like, but this
will be the Toy Story 2 to your Toy Story.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Although Toy Story 2 is also the one that gets you the most sad, I would say, but it also has the best win at the end.
Yes.
So
you're going to suffer, but you're going to be happy about it.
I mean, yeah, that seems about right.
Okay. Well, I hope minimal suffering, just like a flash in the pan suffering. Maybe it's just the moving process that's going to be a little bit of suffering for you and getting set up and all situated. Building the fence. That's going to be your suffering. And then from there, you'll be happy. You'll be happy about it.
Honestly, from there, like, I love my house. It is, from the inside, everything is just, it's wonderful. It's great. It's just quite the little bubble that you have in it. And so just a little bit of background. I have had, it's in a transitional neighborhood. And so you have about a third of the homes that are brand new and beautiful. And then the rest of them are many, like about 100 years old, but like in a bad way and falling apart. Like, so my direct neighbor may or may not have drug situations happening there.
Oh dear.
And then
Chelsea, you're not selling this very well.
I know. But the neighbor next door to them is a 3-story grand mansion. So it's like, I don't know what to, like, it's just, we're just waiting for whatever is going to happen with the house next door to just fall down and then we can, it'll be fine.
Yes. Okay.
So,
okay. Nice.
So they're going to suffer, but I'm going to be happy about it.
Yes, indeed. I love it. Okay, stay tuned. Stay tuned to the bloopers for all of our future episodes for Chelsea's saga.
This is, oh man. It is a saga for sure.
It is the year of the horse. Last year was year of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is good. All right.
Update for you. What about you? How's 5 kids versus 4? What's the difference?
About the same. I at this point, it's like, okay, I can see how people have 10 kids now.
Yeah.
Older. Your kids are older. You have older kids that are able to really do a lot for themselves. And I felt like, after 4, it doesn't feel like a huge disruption in the family. You know, even after 3, I think once you got to 4, it was like, okay, like this is what it is. And so I definitely can see after you have 5, this is my perspective, how you can get to 9 or 10, 8 to 10. It's not going to happen, but I do see it now. I'm like, oh yeah, babies are fun.
If you
Families
start
are fun.
early enough,
who loves it? Yeah. So
the baby. I mean, I'm number 6 of 6.
Right. I used to think 6 was like, oh my gosh, how do you do 6? Now I'm like, oh, 6. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
The baby, she is officially 3 months today. Therefore, I got to check her into the gym. She has her own account, membership for the kids center. And this is the best money in town, I'm telling you, because the babies for the first year, because they're in their own baby room. Every single day, you can put the baby there for an hour and a half, and all the other kids can be there for 2.5 hours. And this is a steal. Okay, get this. So when my kids are all on it, since the day they were 3 months, we signed them in the gym. We've been going to this gym for years. And my older kids are $10 a month. My first 3 kids, which this includes the 2.5 hours of childcare every single day. You could do it. You go every single day. You can even split it up where I go for an hour in the morning. My husband can take them for an hour and a half in the afternoon. And once a week on the weekends, you can do parents' night out where you can drop the kids off and leave the gym, because normally you're technically not supposed to leave the gym. You know, you're supposed to stay there and work out. But parents' night out, they feed them pizza. They have an activity, which is they get to pick swimming, rock wall, or a theme night with like superhero theme or princess, whatever. And so they have a theme. They feed them pizza, and then they do like a movie at the end. That's 3 full hours. So you can do date night.
Wow.
That's included. No extra fee. It is what it is. So this is like the best value in town. $10 a month. Are you kidding me? Well, when my 4th was born, it'd been so long, they had bumped it to $30 a month, which the one child was the same as the 3 prior, which is like, but if you even it out, it was like $15 a month per kid. Like even then I'm like, really can't complain about this, because this is if you were to pay a babysitter, that would be 1 day's worth of babysitting. You know what I'm saying?
That's 1 hour.
So now, and now the baby, I was hoping it'd still be 30, but it's now 40 a month. And I can't even complain about 40 a month for this, because I could even work out for 45 minutes and then go do stuff on my computer, edit the podcast or do whatever, and just get work done. So I will forever be here at this gym. It is great.
They have won you over for a lifetime.
You've been listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help spread the word, be sure to share the podcast with your friends on social media. Just don't forget to tag us at Rotoscopers on Instagram and use the hashtag Animation Addicts. For all the links and full show notes for this episode, go to rotoscopers.com/podcast. Now, if you still can't get enough for your animation fix, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and visit rotoscopers.com for more animation news, reviews, and interviews. Thanks for listening.
UPS Store is making packing and shipping Easter gifts quicker than ever this year with UPS Air. How quick? Quicker than a walk around the park. Quicker than eating all the Easter candies. Quicker than finding a golden egg that you know is stuffed with cash. When you ship UPS Air at the UPS Store, your items arrive on time or your money back. Guaranteed at no extra cost. Exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Send Easter joy on time at the UPS Store. Visit the upsstore.com/air guarantee for full details. Terms and conditions apply.